Right, so here we go again. How many of these would we be able to go through in a lifetime? I'm betting it's a lot. And especially seeing how they usually break after 6 months, then yeah, it would be a lot. So is there a solution for this? Well, I've been looking far and wide, and I decided to take up the advice of you viewers and get something that seems to be it seems to be a really good contender. Hello and welcome to attaQ. My name is Jakob. I'm your host and you're watching a attaQ episode. So I've taken the advice from many of you viewers and I've decided to get myself an Anker cable. You see, I did a video a little while back. You know what? Let's back up before we open up this thing. During all of these years that I've been making videos on YouTube, I have been saying like, hey, get the original Apple cables. Why? Because they usually work. Because I've seen what happens when people buy copies. They usually end up on a forum asking, why won't this connect? Why am I getting these errors? And it's usually due to that person having purchased a third-party connector or a lightning cable or something else of that matter. You see, these cables and connectors need to be MFI certified in order for them to work properly. Sure, sometimes you can buy a third-party connector or lightning cable that is very cheap and it will just work, but there's just a huge risk of it not working, and in that case you've only thrown away your money, and that's never fun. Actually. And that's why I've kept saying, hey, buy the original stuff. The thing is that in the case of the lightning cables, they always break at the same spot. It never fails. It usually takes about a few months, 6 months, and in this case with the cable that shipped with my iPad Pro, well, it actually took it a year to break. And that's because I have been extremely careful when using it. I'm not kidding you. The cables will bend at the end when you use them, and over time you'll notice a little bump forming around that spot, and then it won't take long from that for the rubber to actually just fracture and split, and after that it's just the outer shielding and it just keeps eating through the cable unless you do something, which I have done. But let's not jump ahead of us. So the way I've been trying to use this cable is very carefully just keeping the ends straight, and I've been very serious about this. Look at this, for instance. This is how I work when I make my videos. So I have it plugged into the wall power right there, and then I make sure to hang up the cable on my on this thing here, and then I make sure it's stretched at the iPad end. Now, even though I've been doing this for a year, the cable still broke. Now, if you have an iPad or an iPhone, then you know what I'm talking about, and I just find it unacceptable. I want my tools to be top-notch. I want my tools to be a high quality, and this is something that Apple themselves consider their products to be. Still, they ship them with really crappy cables that will just break after a short while of just normal usage. It's unacceptable. So I've tried to find other ways of fixing this. Take for instance the Sugru thing. So this is what a cable looks like when you've had Sugru on it. The Sugru is basically like a rubbery paste. Sugru has been marketing them as something you can use to fix those damned cables that break. You see, I made a video in where I was applying the Sugru a little while back, and I actually made a prediction. Now I want to make this thinner towards the cable here because I don't want there to be another sharp edge so that the cable can break against that. So the Sugru itself has held up to scrutiny. The Sugru is still very, very sturdy and hasn't broken. But as you can see, the lightning cable seems very, very persistent in breaking itself. Okay, so this actually prolonged the life of this cable for another year. But, you know, I don't want to do this every year, and I don't want to have to hang up my cables and stuff when I use them. I just want to be able to use my cables, and I want them to be of a high quality. But then again, it's so easy to just order one of the cheap ones, which I did. A little while back, I ordered 2 really cheap cables, one in gold and one in black, and it turned out that those were no good at all. The typical cheap copies that you can find everywhere on the web. They're probably not MFI certified. It didn't say on the website that these were MFI certified. I just purchased them in blind and I was hoping that they would work. This is how it went. Why are they so cheap then? 15 minutes after using these, plugged this in and I was going to unplug it and that happened. This thing is glued onto there. I don't know what to say. Let's plug this thing in here. Now this is very simple. It's just one plug in there, and then do this. Just watch this. Well, det är möjligt att tillbehöret inte stöds. It's Swedish and it basically means it's possible that this thing isn't supported. It's supposed to charge my iPad. And look up there. Does it charge it? No. Okay, so buying original Apple cables is just a big no-no because they will always break, and fixing them is just messy and they will still break. And cheap ones, even though they're braided and got metal connections, they will break too or not work. So what do I do? Well, when I did that video in where I was showing you how cheap copies is a bad choice, a lot of you viewers told me, hey, Jakob, buy Amazon Basics, buy Anker cables. And so I did a little bit of research. Okay, so what I discovered was that between the Anker cables and the Amazon Basic cables, I found that the Anker cables seem to have the most positive comments or reviews about them. And so I decided to go for Anker. Before I bought anything, I really took a good long look at their website, and so I wanted to know exactly what models they had available. And it turns out they made a kind of a new model, and it's this one. It's called Powerline Plus 2. I purchased the 6 feet model because I think that's a great length for me, especially when I'm working, so I can move my iPad or iPhone around. Now, I only purchased one because they aren't cheap over here. With shipping, I paid about $42. That's right. If you want to buy these from Anker themselves, then you can get them for $18. Now, I was lucky because I got a small tax return this year. And so the tax return actually funded this cable plus my pre-order of the IK Multimedia Uno synth. Yeah, or is it Uno? Is it Uno? So could it be that the Anker cables is the solution to our problem? Well, it actually looks like it could be. And even Anker themselves believe in this product so much that they're giving out a lifetime warranty. So at this stage, I cannot possibly know, because I just purchased these and I haven't tried them yet. First of all, notice this thing here. This bit where the cable usually breaks is elongated. Now the cord is also double braided, and Anker themselves states that the cable itself will actually be able to hold 175 lbs. What's that in kilos? Like 80 kilos, I think? 80 kilos? Yeah, maybe. I can also tell you that when I first opened this up and I actually picked up the cable, I got a sense of, hey, this feels like quality. Now, for a product that comes with a lifetime warranty, I have a really high expectation. And I can't tell you now if this is the solution to our problems. You see, I only recommend stuff that I have tested out myself. And so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna use this like normally. I'm not gonna be careful with it as I've been with the iPad Pro cable that broke. I'm not gonna be extra rough with it. I'm just gonna normally use it, and I'll make a new video in 6 months as an update to let you know how the cable is performing when it comes to the syncing and when it comes to charging. I'll test it with all of my adapters. I'll test it with all my iDevices, and we'll just see how well this performs. Now this is gonna go straight into my mobile music production bag. And if you wanna see what was in my bag last time I was out in the wild making music, then stick to the end because I've got a little extra clip in there for you. Thank you so much for watching. All comments and ratings are very much appreciated. I've just got the regular plug up here with the Patreon and PayPal and stuff. Now, if you don't want to do the Patreon or PayPal thing, then you can always share my videos and press the thumbs up because that always helps with the ratings around here. And if you subscribe, don't forget to press in the little bell thing because that way you'll always get notified whenever I upload a new video. As usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing it. Hello and welcome to haQ on the outside. As a mobile musician, I want to bring my gear with me, so we're gonna have a look at what's in my bag. By the way, this is a standard Vault-Tec bag for all you wasteland survivors out there. If you want to carry your music equipment and coffee, this bag is absolutely great. So we're gonna have a look at what's inside here first. And there's really nothing there. If we open up here, then we can see I've got a little homemade pouch here that I made. And inside here we can find the iPad Mini 2, and it says I finger my Surface a lot. And the reason to why I chose this one over the other ones, because it's actually the one that gives me the most battery time when I'm away from home. I don't need to carry a big battery, even though I do. You can show your hand, baby, so they can see that there's a person here, just like hello. Yeah, the Korg NanoKey Studio. It's just such a great device to have. It's got Bluetooth MIDI, can run pretty long on these AA batteries, and it's just got all the controls I need and the knobs and, you know, the scaling mode. It's just a great device to have. Then I've also brought some really shitty headphones. These are no good. We've also got another bag in here where we've got an iRig mic lav, and I use this one to just do interviews and stuff. But I also use it when I'm out doing vlogs like this, even though right now I've got no microphone connected. This is the iRig Midcast, the CCK, and the USB 3 to Lightning connector. And then I've got a little cable for the NanoKey Studio. If I don't want to run it on batteries, or if I forgot to bring batteries with me and they run out, then it can actually be powered by the iPad, which is great. And then we also have a bottle of water. There used to be ice in this. There's no ice in it left, but I'm thinking it's pretty cool. So, oh, that's giving me ice cream headaches. We've also got a piece of chocolate in here, some food, and well, you know what we do with this. And that's pretty much what I bring in my production bag when I'm going out. Have a really great day. And as usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing it. I'm gonna have to clean this mess up now.
Am I a masochist? Yes. Am I a masochist? Yes. Apple, musician? Yes. Yes. Are we all masochists? Yes. Why do we torture ourselves? Dongles. Why do we torture ourselves? Dongles. This is Apple, yeah? Yes. And this is how they run it. This is Apple, yeah.